Chatham County Police Department and FBI entered a new phase in the search for Quinton Simon. A short time ago, we began what will be an extensive search of the waste management landfill located here in Chatham County. As with every step we have taken in this case, the need for this search was based on where the evidence led us. Yesterday, our team posted this picture of Quinton here on the wall of this operations center as a reminder of who we are searching for and why we continue to work so terribly hard. We want justice for Quinton just like everybody else, and we want to find his remains so we can give him a proper resting place.
Is Leilani Simon still the only suspect?
She is.
This is another one, folks. He's just 20 months old. And I mean, you look at that face, you look at those big eyes, and you're wondering how anyone could harm him. I mean, no one has seen little Quinton Simon since October 5th, since he was initially reported missing, and have informed the public that evidence has led them to believe that Quinton is no longer alive and that his mother, Leilani Simon, is the main suspect in his death. Today, Leilani Simon and her mother, Quinton's grandma, Billy Howell, spoke to Shay Schrader with WTOC. Here's some of what she said about the search for her missing son.
We're in limbo. We're in limbo just like everybody else is. We're sitting here every day waiting for answers. Being in this house is hard. My mother and I can't even stay inside throughout the day. We always are outside because there's just so many memories that we don't know if we're going to have again.
So she's crying. They're searching for her son, but she's the main suspect in a homicide investigation. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Julia Janae, joining us live tonight from outside of little Quinton's home. Julia, nice to see you tonight. Not great to see what's behind you, which looks like a memorial. Tell us about the scene at the house today.
Vinny, right now it's quiet, but there have been a lot of clashes that have happened today, and we constantly hear the honking horns of people who are responding, saying that this is about getting answers over what happened to Quinton Simon. You can see behind me, there are actually a group of people. These are people who've been here today. They've been holding those signs. They've been demonstrating and protesting towards the house where he was last seen. But I do want to direct your attention to who's sitting there now. They're on the other side of the trespassing line that's here. They've now got candles, and they're sitting right in the yard. And on the other side, you do see that display. And above that, there's an open window of people who are inside of this home. So you heard Leilani in that interview saying that they find it difficult to be there, but though the police have said that she's a main suspect, they have not charged her, they have not arrested her, but she is, we understand, here inside as that search continues. But there are those who are very upset with what her actions have been or have not been, as 3 weeks now have passed after the disappearance of her son. Take a listen.
I have kids, for one, and as a mother, if my child went missing, I would be out here. I would be wanting everybody in the world to help me, everybody and anybody. And the fact that she's out here just living her best life, partying at Tabby, and your child is God knows who, laying where in the cold. Like, we've had some really cold nights, and for them to just be, you know, not in jail yet is crazy to me. For as a mother, like, how can you even live, breathe, sleep, eat? How? So as a mother, I am Quinton's voice. We are all Quinton's voice. If it wasn't for us, this would be swept under the rug. I mean, nothing yet has been done. I mean, so when is it going to be done? You know, people go to jail every day for minor things, and you have to sit there until proven innocent. So why is she still free? And where is the baby? And as a mother, you need to help find your baby.
It's a determined group who've been here. They've been changing out shifts. Some were here earlier in the day when we were here. Some have left. Others have come to make sure that there are people here at all times demanding that justice for the baby. But you see that tent with all of those stuffed toy animals and the flowers and pictures of Quinton Simon that, of course, seems to have been put up by his family, the people who live here, and the place that he was last seen alive, Vinny.
So inside the house tonight, we believe that the family is there. They're not coming in and out. They're just sort of staying inside, not wanting to get into any sort of confrontation with the protesters and people who've shown up outside of the home. Is that kind of the situation right now?
We do believe that's the situation. We've been here for hours. We have not seen anyone come and talk to us directly. We did see a car that left at one point and then came back to this location, but they've been very clear, it seems, about trespassing. And there's, even when we've tried to approach it, even neighbors have yelled about trespassing because there actually was a clash over the weekend where people were detained. This was a report that was obtained by WSAV, a local station here in Savannah, where they said that there were 4 who were arrested. The Chatham County Police Department said that they were protesting over the issue of toddler Quinton Simon on Friday and Saturday night. Last night there was one protester arrested after they were reportedly banging on the windows and doors of the home. And on Friday night, police say they had to visit this home after receiving complaints of people acting disorderly. 3 of those blocked the driveway of the home, which prevented people from leaving. We did see 2 police units come today. They talked to us to make sure we were parked in the right location. No one's blocking any driveways tonight, and things have been they've been peaceful, but we have still heard those air horns, people yelling, people honking, still making their voice known about what they say is injustice when it comes to what happened to this toddler.
And Julia, I don't know exactly what I heard, but it seemed like the voices are getting louder behind you and there's more people gathering. Are they addressing the home or are they just talking amongst each other at this point?
Right now, it is a change. They have been addressing the home most of the day, but right now it's amongst each other. I've noticed them talking about this case, about the tragedy of this toddler that's lost, what they think may have happened. But right now, it's just an interesting scene because they are now on the yard of the property, which is different from where they were most of the day today. And there is an open window there at the house, so perhaps very easy for this family to see who is here outside protesting. What they feel has not been handled in the way that it should as far as the investigation and what has been told to authorities.
Let's talk about that investigation, the landfill search. What's the latest there?
We're entering week 2 of that landfill search, and that's going on about 10 miles away from here. Police have not released exactly what took them to that landfill, but they did release that they had credible evidence, credible information that prompted them to go there. And just a bit about how this process works. These are not volunteers. These are law enforcement trained searchers, and they say it's very important that they have that extensive training because of how dangerous a search like this can be. They can encounter hazardous materials. You see they have the protective gear, but they are moving very carefully through tons of garbage, trying to find what we have not been told exactly what, but related to the disappearance of Quinton Simon. And we know police have said they do not believe that he is alive, but that is the status now. This is still an ongoing search, and no word from police today on any updates coming out of that search.
Now, I also understand that you had an opportunity to speak with Quinton's babysitter. What did you find out?
She is the woman who kept him the day before he went missing, and she didn't want to go on camera because she said it's actually been difficult for her safety-wise as far as needing to take those precautions because of the intense scrutiny that surrounded this case. But she did talk to me off camera, and she said that she actually received a text the morning of the disappearance, that she was scheduled to babysit the baby, but that she received a text and she showed it to me that she said was from Leilani Simon at 5:29 a.m. And it said that they had made other arrangements when it comes to babysitting. They would not need her and he would be staying with her parents instead. So she typically would have him between 5:30 and 6, she said, in the morning is when they would bring her over. She also mentioned that she was out on her front yard between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. She didn't notice him anywhere. She said he's a little boy that she's been keeping for 6 months, that she loves him and is heartbroken that he can't be found. But she said she was involved in the search. I asked her if she ever noticed anything odd, anything that may point to a sign that there was any kind of trouble. And she couldn't point to anything specific outside of, she said, maybe a couple bruises, but she said he's also a toddler who often fell down when he was running very fast. So nothing that seemed off to the point that he would disappear. But she did say that there are some neighbors who say that sometimes they notice them walking around. This is the toddler and his older brother sometimes walking around without supervision, and then they would contact Leilani about it. So many questions still unanswered tonight, but that is what investigators, that's what the FBI is getting to the bottom of. I know we have some sound from a press conference that was given by Chief Jeff Hadley from the Chatham County Police Department. Let's take a listen to that as it relates to this case.
Chief, so the FBI was there yesterday to help. Is that customary, or were there certain aspects of the case that they thought it was necessary for them to come in, and will they be continuing to help with the investigation?
They will continue to help with the investigation in this type because it's a missing child, but there's also a potential it could have been abducted. Obviously, that falls within their wheelhouse. The day Quinton was reported missing, we requested the assistance of the FBI. They responded immediately and have been on the scene with our officers since that time. Today, there are more than 40 FBI agents and personnel on the ground in Chatham County working with our department to find Quinton.
Once again, we are indebted to the FBI for their unmatched expertise that they have provided to us since they arrived on scene. Less than 3 hours after Quinton was reported missing.
Just to follow up again on that timeline, Vinny, that text from the babysitter that she said she received from the mother, 5:29 a.m. It was 9:39 a.m. when police got that call that Quinton Simon was missing.
Julie Janae in Georgia tonight. Thanks so much. This case, we got to get to the bottom of it. We're going to bring in our investigators when we come back. But thank you, Julie Janae, Court TV legal correspondent. Also coming up next hour. Plus, Danny Masterson, one of the stars of that 70s show, on trial accused of raping 3 women in the early 2000s when they were members of the Church of Scientology, along with Masterson. We are live from L.A. with the latest.
She is allowing Scientology because she knows it's an inextricable part of this case. So a lot of Scientology has come in despite her, rulings. It's going to be a constant presence every day.
Years ago, a person dressed as a clown, holding flowers and balloons, rang the doorbell at Marlene Warren's home. But when Marlene answered, the clown shot her to death.
Advanced DNA testing led authorities to Sheila Keene Warren. The defendant ended up marrying the victim's husband.
It's like a Lifetime movie plot.
This is going to be a riveting case.
The Killer Clown Murder Trial. Live coverage coming soon on Court TV. Healthcare.
There's a live shot tonight. That is the home that Quinton Simon was living in. He is missing, presumed dead. They're searching a landfill. Incredibly tragic story. With us right now, our investigators, former Special Agent in Charge, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Trebor Randall, and also joining us in Salt Lake City, Utah, Private Investigator Jason Jensen. Great to see you both. Some of the things that we heard from Julie Janae, that text message to the babysitter, Jason, what are your thoughts there? The babysitter saying we've made other arrangements early in the morning, then all of a sudden he goes missing?
Well, yeah, that's really the key, isn't it? When you make an alternate arrangement for a child that turns up missing, you question the validity of that earlier text that they made other arrangements. You wonder if at that point there was already something that happened to the child, and now they're trying to make it look like something else was going on. And then to report to the police there was an abduction, no wonder the police are in disbelief.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Yeah, we made other arrangements. The child's been abducted, Trebor. Our child's been abducted, so we won't need the babysitter today, right? That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't. And again, from the very beginning, this didn't make any sense. You know, we have criteria set forth in our state when a child is missing, and there are details that would, you know, support the child being in danger or there being an abduction, and that just wasn't present with this situation. It was suspicious from the very beginning.
Again, you're looking at live pictures tonight down in Chatham County, Georgia. Jason Jensen, you know, you don't want, you know, these confrontations between protesters and the family. Obviously, you don't want that. But your thoughts about the actions of mom not actively searching for her son, who she said apparently was abducted?
Yeah, I mean, it usually becomes a red flag when that's not happening, because it seems to be a maternal instinct for this mother to be looking for a missing child. You lose your mind wondering where they're at, what's going on. Well, I can't just sit here on my hands and do nothing. So you want to go out and do something, even if it's redundant, even if it's, you know, not likely to yield any work. You just want to be busy, want to be active. Unlike here, I mean, this really has the sting of what happened to Orville and Orson out in California, where the step-parents didn't do any effort, and they ended up getting charged.
Trebor, we only have about literally 10 seconds. I'll give you the final word tonight on little Quinton.
Again, if you see something, say something. These things are preventable, and children don't just go missing, to your point, Benny.
All right, Trebor Randall, Jason Jensen, appreciate your time, your insight tonight.